everyone, welcome to my space for those of you all who are new, and welcome back to those of you all who love hanging out with me. My name is Chantel Yvonne, and here we talk about all things books. So it's like July, and I decided to kind of like sit and think about what my favorite books have been that I've read thus far. I was gonna just do like my top 5 books, but then the list kept growing, and it was like really hard to choose. So I'm going to share my top 10 books that I've read thus far during the year, a little blurb about each one. I'm probably not going to go into, I'm going to try not to go into a lot of detail about each one, so this video isn't so long, but I definitely did want to share my top 10 books that I've read thus far in 2025. But before I share with you my number 10 book, I want you to hit the like and subscribe button and help this channel grow. Thank you guys so much for doing that. And now, without further ado, we're going to get into my top 10 books, starting with number 10. So number 10 is The Mountain Sings, and by Ngozi. And this book is historical fiction, and it's about the Vietnam War, really centering very specifically on a family, a Vietnamese family. So it is about kind of the Vietnam War and the impact that it has on or had on the Vietnam family and Vietnam in itself. This book is great if you are interested in the Vietnam War, especially from that perspective. It's a great one to read alongside history because it is so much history. So many things I did not know, even though I've studied the Vietnam War. It is told, it goes back and forth from past to present, so it's intergenerational. This family lives intergenerationally. But because we have this intergenerational look and span of what's happening, you're also able to see the impact of war on a family over the course of generations. And so I think that was the most impactful thing for me, was just the impact of war, the impact of displacement, trauma, and the generational training that trauma did on this family. So this book, The Mountain Sing, it is beautiful. Again, I did a video about this one, so if you want to check that out, I will link it in the show notes below, or I'll put it up top. I really am trying to figure out how to put things up top. So if I figure that out, guys, it'll be up there. But if I don't figure it out, it'll be down below. Okay, so moving right along, my ninth book that came in number 9 is the only poetry that I've read this year, which is Nikki Giovanni's Selected Poems. There we go. So I am a huge fan of Nikki Giovanni, and in order to honor her life, she passed this year. In order to honor her life, I decided to reread her poems. This is the very first book of poetry that I received from Nikki Giovanni. It has one of my favorite poems of all time in it, called Resignation. Look it up. I will try and find a reading of her reading Resignation and link it in the show notes below, because I think one of the best ways to experience poetry is to listen to it. So I love reading it, and then I would often go and try to see if I could find a recording of her reading it, and for some of them that I did. Nikki Giovanni is just a brilliant poet. She's a poet activist, and I just love her way of language. I love the stories that she tells, the conversations that she has with us as readers in her poetry. I remember when I was reading this, I would read poetry before I went to bed at night, and oftentimes I would read it to my husband, and it was just a great way to kind of work through the poem. Really enjoyed reading this, and I enjoyed the experience that I had with myself and just being kind of immersed in poetry, and also the experience that my husband and I shared as I read poetry to him. So this came in at number 9 for me. Okay, number 8 is a nonfiction book, and it is by the author David Brooks, and it's called How to Know a Person, The Art of Seeing Others Deeply and Being Deeply Seen. This is a most important book. If I was just rating nonfiction, I think I would put it at least number 1, number 2. There's another book that I'm going to get to on my list that I actually got from this book, and then I ordered it and I read it. And I think the two go hand in hand so well. But this book is, David Brooks is a journalist, and he writes about his experience going around the country and talking to different people and getting to know them and getting to know their stories, and the questions that that allow for people to go deeper with one another. And I truly, you guys, use his method, his thinking, and his questions to help me go deeper in relationships that I've known for a long time, but also in relationships that are new to me. So this is really it's a good book to read, but it's also like a study book. It's also like a textbook for me. And I really enjoyed this book. It is in large print. This was my mother's copy. And I didn't even notice it. So when I opened it up, I was like, wow, that's large, that's big. But it's my mom's copy, and I just really enjoyed reading this book. I will have, I don't know, maybe I'll, David Brooks, read him. He's a beautiful writer too. That's the other thing I want to say. Even though this is nonfiction, his nonfiction writes so well. It's like storytelling in the nonfiction, and that's how I really like to enjoy nonfiction. So this is definitely had to be on my list of top 10 for this year. All right, moving on to my next book. We are back in the world of fiction, and book number 7 is Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmus. And this was, I think, the first book I read this year. I bought this when it first came out. I started it and I stopped it. I don't know why. I can't remember. Maybe I lost it or something. Sometimes that happens. But in January, my goal for myself was that I wasn't buying any new books. I was going to read books that I either have not read at all or I started and didn't finish. And so that's what brought me to Lessons in Chemistry. I'm so glad it did. This book is witty, relevant, it's thought-provoking, very provocative in that. It's also historical because it's set in the 1950s, I think, 1960s, and it's smart. It's very, very smart, very, very smart. And so I just really loved all that has. It's also like a love story, not just between Elizabeth Zott, which is the main character, and her partner, but I really think like a love story to herself, and to her growth and becoming, and her commitment to be the person that she wants to be, and how she passes that down to her daughter in the messaging to that. So it's like almost like a love story to women as well. So I really enjoyed this. I actually learned some chemistry. Again, it's a very smart book, but I also loved reading about things that impact women, that have impacted us in the past, that still things that we're struggling with as far as sexism and patriarchy, and the ways in which we also are implicated in keeping that alive, or we are involved in keeping those things alive as women. I really enjoyed the way that she wrote about it in this novel. So I'm looking forward to reading more from Bonnie Garmus. It is made into a TV show. I have not watched the show or the movie version of it. I don't know if I will, but I definitely did enjoy reading this book. So Lessons in Chemistry is holds the 7th slot for me. Okay, for number 6, we're back to nonfiction, and this is Letters to a Young Therapist by Mary Pipher. I discovered this book because I read How to Know People by David Brooks, which I showed you earlier. And he referenced this book, I think put a quote out of it, and I was like, oh, let me go look this up and let me read it. So I am not a therapist. I'm not in the field of therapy. And I don't think that you need to read this book and to grow and glean from it. I surely didn't. But this is written by Mary Pipher, who is giving over 30 years of her wisdom that she's collected over practicing for that long. And it's organized in different seasons. And she's writing letters to a young therapist that she's mentoring and coaching. And I just think that the wisdom that she has to share with a young therapist was such great wisdom for me as a mother. for me as a sister, for me as a friend, for me as a daughter, for me as a wife. And so I just really loved it. It is very gentle. It's very quiet. I actually don't know what Mary Pipher sounds like, but when I'm reading it, I am literally hear myself. It's like someone reading a letter to me. And I'm receiving as that way, as it is written in the form of letters. So this is just a really great book. It's very gentle. It's very humble. And I really appreciate this, and I definitely encourage everyone to read this one. Moving on, number 5, which fell. Now I'm back with number 5, and that is Zora Neale Hurston's Their Eyes Were Watching God. I'm not a fan so much of this cover art for this, but I am a fan of this book. So this is my second or third time reading Their Eyes Were Watching God. I actually read this because my girls were studying it in their literature class. And so I read it. And Zora. So this book, this novel takes place in Florida, in a Black-run town in Eatonville, Florida. And it follows the story of what happens to Janie and her becoming of herself. This is a story of becoming. This is a hero's journey type of story, in the sense that it's that circular pattern. And this is a story about love and all of its wonderful messiness between Janie and Tea Cake. This is a really, I think, important novel for a lot of different reasons. I also did a video on this where I go into a lot more detail. But this novel, when it came out, it was not well received or promoted, because although, you know, people were like, it's written well, there were the giants of Black literary times and just activism in this time as that were not able to really endorse this book because they said it wasn't a protest novel. So this was a very different type of novel that was coming out of the era in which it was written, which was in the 1937 is when it was published. And it was not well received. We have this story because Alice Walker, who is another one of my favorite writers, resurrected Zora Neale Hurston. And it is now taught in universities, and it's taught in school systems and in high school. And it would not be, had it not been for Alice Walker going and reclaiming Zora Neale Hurston and establishing her and helping to establish her work where it should be. Number 5, I love reading it. Yeah, lots to say about this one. Go check out my video. I don't want to be here all day talking about that. I will, and I could, but go check my video if you want to learn more about that book. Okay, so the next one is The Fire Next Time by James Baldwin. This is a nonfiction work. It's a collection of essays by him and James Baldwin. If you don't know him, please get to know James Baldwin. Listen to James Baldwin. Look James Baldwin up and listen. Get his voice in your head. Listen to James Baldwin. James Baldwin was a prolific writer and thought contributor and activist within American culture, specifically African American culture. And he talks a lot about racism and lived experiences, but in what it's like to be Black in America, specifically what it's like to be a Black man in America. But he also talks about it from the sorrow of America, this country that he loves, and this country that made it very difficult for him to live and thrive in it. This essay that I think he's most popular for is called My Dungeon Shook, which is a letter to my nephew on the 100th anniversary of emancipation. It's such an important read And so I just really encourage, if you haven't read The Fire Next Time, read it. James Baldwin wasn't just limited to nonfiction. He also wrote plays. Check out James Baldwin, but do yourself a favor and listen to Baldwin. So when you're reading him, you can, hear his voice. That's what I like to do. Number 5, is it number 5? No, number 3. Number 3 is Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. And this book is, I just actually finished reading this in July. I read it very quickly. It's a very quick read. It's a romance book, and it's about a couple at the start who is in divorce, who's divorced because they go through some really hard things, and it is hard for them to overcome. The author does give a note to this book, and so I will too, that there are topics of depression, stillborn, and loss of life. So just be careful and kind to yourself before picking up this book. If that's something that you need to stay away from, do that. But this is a romance story, and it is just kind of going on the journey of a couple finding joy again. And I really did enjoy it. I think I enjoyed it a lot because it's summer and I read it in summer. I enjoyed the context of me reading it. I was on a road trip with my husband, and I just had time where I could sit for hours and just be immersed in story. So I think that has a lot to do with it as well, like how I was able to read it. But I also loved her writing style. It's very fun, witty, and real. There's just like kind of a real texture to it with the dialogue. And so it's also very relatable. And I just really enjoyed it. It was like a nice spark in my summer. And I definitely will be reading more of her works. I also did a book notes video about this one too. So again, I will either be up there or be up there somewhere, or I will figure out something. If I don't figure that out, I'll leave a link in the show notes. We're getting up to the last 2, guys. So what is it? Coming in at number 2, Dream Count by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. This book was so good. I love this book. I love this book. You guys, look. It's just so good. I am a huge fan of Chimamanda. I was able to see her at a book talk. So it was one of the highlights of my year, actually. And in this book, this novel, so good. It's a novel about friendship. It's a novel about finding oneself. It is a novel about romance and dating. It's a novel about mothers and daughters, healing, and trusting oneself and learning how to trust oneself. It's so good. The main character of this novel, Chimika, is a Nigerian travel writer. And so she moves in different spaces. Although what's really cool is that one of the spaces, that's her home space that she moves in, is in this area. So it was cool to kind of know places that was mentioned in the book. And she also is connected to 3 other women, a cousin, a best friend, and someone that works for her. And through the journey of these women's lives, we get to really kind of learn a lot about womanhood, about being female, and all the different things that life kind of does to women, or that women experience, I should say, in life. And we get to experience it in very raw and intimate and honoring, I think, ways. The way that she crafts words is just, I cannot explain it. Her language is delicious. That's the word I think I use for this book. It's a delicious read. And there is such depth, though, to the deliciousness and what it leaves you thinking about. I also did a video for this book. So I'm not going to go on and on and on about it. I do want to say that the kind of background setting that's in there, but it's not like prominent in your face the whole time, is COVID. And I think that was really interesting for me to read, because it helped me to grieve some things, or it helped me to pause and grieve some things that I did not grieve from COVID. I just was like moving through and kept it going. There is varying perspectives of narration, not only in the narration, but also in the writing style and who's narrating, and how the narration style is. And I think that adds to the cleverness of the story, and it adds to kind of keeping you engaged in different ways. This is so good. All these are like quotes, y'all. I'm not going to sit and read these quotes to you. You've got to go out and read this novel and really treat yourself to it. Dream count. So this came in at number 2 for me. And this was a hard choice between this one and the next one. Maybe they're both the number ones. I don't know. But the next book I don't have with me. Those are all my books that just dropped. They just dropped as I was trying to pile them, but they just tumbled on the floor. I don't know if you heard that. But the next book is my number 1 choice, and that is Chain Gang All-Stars. It's a dystopian, alternate reality novel that is gladiator style, that's set in a futuristic kind of city, that's very much, though, like ours. It's very relatable when you read it to what we experience right now in life. And you have a prison system that has organized death gladiator matches where inmates can actually fight to earn their freedom. And it also is gladiator style on a larger level because it's streamed out. It's also entertainment. It's a big business and a big deal. And it has a devastating impact on humanity and gets into a lot of great questions about who deserves dignity, whose life is worthy, whose isn't, who's expendable, and so on and so forth. So many questions. The way that it's written is so unique. I was really, really impressed by this author and this story. It would not have been something I would have ever picked up for myself. And I'm so glad that I'm in a book club that, pushes me to read things that I would not walk into a store or, a library and choose for myself to read. So I'm really, 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 really excited about Chain Gang All-Stars. I have shared this book and also Dream Count. I've given the books to people, which is why I don't have my copy, because I have given my copy away to a friend to read. So that is my number 1 book. I will also leave my book notes about that book also in the show notes, either boom here or down below. But I would love to know what's on your favorite top 10 list. What books have you really enjoyed? Share them in the comments below. Please know I read and respond to every comment because your comments matter a lot to me. So please do that. And I'm also looking for more books. Yeah, like what am I going to read next? So I might pick some books from the books that you actually share with me. And that's it, guys. That's my top 10. It was really fun to kind of go back through my bookcase and my book notes and to review and to try to, put a number on them or a level. That was very difficult, but I'm glad that I did it. And I'm also, I think, taking a pause to just go back and look through my book shelf and just see how many books that I've read thus far in the year. So thus far, I've read a total of 28 books, and I'm really happy. I'm really happy. Really, really proud of that. And I have a lot more reading to go. I'm excited to share with you all the books that I'm reading and currently reading, and to talk about that. I can't wait to come back and talk about Parable of the Sower and also How the Word Was Passed. Those are 2 that I'm working on currently right now. And I will be back to talk about those. So I can't wait. Thank you for spending time with me today. I really do appreciate it. If you stayed to the end, thank you so much. If you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe. This helps the algorithm to know that we exist here, and it will share the content with more people who are looking for bookish content. And we definitely don't want to deny them that, right? So you can also hit the bell. That will do something, which I'm not really sure what the bell does, but hit the bell, and because it does something great and it keeps us connected in a meaningful way. Until next time, you guys, you know what to do. Visit a local bookstore or library, wherever you like to go get your books. Treat yourself to something fun to read, and always stay reading. Bye.